Oh my God, chat. I also finally watched Oppenheimer. While we're loading in, I'll just let you guys know I finally watched Oppenheimer. Spoiler alert, they built an atomic bomb. I'll spoil the movie for you guys. They did build a they built a bomb. I'm gonna be honest, it was like part of the movie was a little it's not triggering, but like, okay, I don't really talk about this with chat much, but yeah, I don't talk politics with chat for a number of reasons. But for those wondering, prior to me becoming a game dev for PlayStation, when I studied political science, I studied nuclear deterrence theory and asymmetrical warfare. And then I also worked for the IDA, the Institute for Defense Analysis, and the CIA. Christico said it's 100% a propaganda thing. I actually think they framed the movie of Oppenheimer as actually pretty critical of U.S. decision to use the bombs. But what is this deep Blau lore? Yeah, I thought you guys knew this shit. I almost worked a job where like close friend, like my family would have gone through full background checks. Like I would have had to have been a natural born US citizen. And if I would not have been able to like date or marry maybe I could have. It would have been very unlikely that I could have dated or married a non-US citizen, like an immigrant, or not even non-US citizen, non-naturally born US citizen. I just thought you worked at Riot and told the Among Us devs to make more maps. No, I worked at PlayStation before that. Why? That's fucked up. Because of the security clearance that I would have needed to do that job. I don't really like talking politics though with chat. Yeah, like if anyone, people, I'm sure there are people in chat who have family or no family who work in those levels of government, but it's a real thing. Like there's like various security clearance where you work in certain government positions and they like, you know, it's a deep thing. They also like, I would have been monitored. Like you actually waive a lot of your rights to do those jobs. I basically would have agreed to being like fully monitored. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I don't really know what to follow up and say after that. So it's kind of, you know. So why didn't you take the job? I wanted to live closer to my family that did live in Cali, and I had a chance. I had full offers from various government agencies, defense contractors, etc. And then I also had a chance at an internship to work at PlayStation. I was like, well, before I sign my entire life away to go down this career path, let me try working as an intern at a video game company. And after my first week, I realized I would never look back. Yeah, guys, I'm a CIA plant. I also don't think if my politics now would agree with that sort of work. So there's that as well. OpenEye Signal said, shout out Stag Field. Yeah, chat. Always remember that the University of Chicago gave up their football team so that the United States could have an atomic bomb. Thank you so much for that sacrifice. Actually, true. They built the first successful fission experiment was done. There's the Los Alamos lab and then the Fermi lab at U Chicago, with like the lab at Berkeley were like the three major labs. And then they did the first successful fission experiment at the Fermi lab, which was built underneath the fucking football field. So they are the one to blame. My views on nuclear weaponry and that stuff is, I don't really know how to think about it, or I'm about to die on Mickey. I'm one hit. Am I starving? Why am I dead? Oh, fuck. Like, there are some really basic questions that we have to ask about, like theoretical questions that we have to ask about nuclear weaponry, right? So then the first one is...
That's impeccable timing.
Oh, see, I'm still talking to my chap.
Oh, I was going to tell you a recap of the day. All right, I want to go sleep.
So I can't roleplay Mickey right now. I'm like waking up. I'm like, I'm trying to like survive. What? Chat, I feel like sometimes it's just a simpler explanation, you know? Now I'm actually interested in your views now, knowing your background. Let me put it to you this way. Nuclear, like atomics would have been developed. Nuclear weaponry was going to be developed. In the march of mankind and progress in science, we would have developed nuclear weapons. I want to ask questions from chat. Theoretically, do we agree that in human history we would have developed nuclear weapons? Can we agree on that? Okay. Now, here's a more controversial take. Nuclear weapons would have been used in a warfare situation. After developed, nuclear weapons therefore are then used by a country either defensively or aggressively, and would have been used. I'm not talking specifics. I'm just talking in general. I was got hit by a bus. So when asked about the use of nuclear weapons in World War II, I think that a human response or a normal response should be that it's wrong. Right? It's wrong. First of all, but there's basic things that we have to consider that are wrong. It's like, well, just bombing a civilian population, we can all probably agree is wrong. Using nuclear weapons is also just wrong. Like, none of these things we want. I think the thing that is that I don't know and is hard for me to know is, even with all these theoretical questions of, okay, nuclear weapons would have been developed. Yes, they would have been used. Yes, they are wrong. We can answer a lot of basic questions. The question that we can't answer is then when we get to the specifics, which is, so then to specifically say that question would be something like this.
So we just joke about, he just joked oh, I'm not.
The world that we live in today, is it more or less stable because of the use of nuclear weapons and because of the timeline and development of weapons in the world? I died. We couldn't out heal the damage. Impossible to know, right?
He ain't dead.
Yeah, I had a low blood sugar. If you could just get me into the doctors, thank you so much. Yeah, so
good. I got you.
Yeah, it's one of those really it is a I challenge you, chat, that this is a question that generally does require, I think, a lot of critical thinking, and it's not a immediately right or wrong answer. And it actually is a question that I believe has right and wrong answers depending on the framing of the question and depending on what you value. In a perfect, if we want to think in a perfect world where humans all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, yeah, it's a horrific thing. But
hello, I need a doctor.
You could argue that there's any number of
on the floor or some shit.
Okay, 1 second. Maybe put him on the bed over there.
It's very hard to answer.
Kind of heavy.
Oh. All right, well, being as I'm half your size, I'll pick him up for you since you seemingly can't do it.
Even Sinlir even brought up a good point. Some people hate the concept of nuclear weapons.
Well, you were just here and I just fixed you
There
up.
are arguments that nuclear weapons, in a way,
not you, the other two.
I'm not saying I agree with this entirely, but people have these arguments that nuclear weapons actually are products of
Were
peace.
you just here? Didn't I just fix you up on the other side of the room over there?
Who, me?
No.
Yeah, weren't you an explosion?
No, I got run over by a train like an hour ago.
Oh yeah, well it's like just here. Yeah.
There will be weapons
Yeah, he
more
walked out
powerful
the
than
front door
nuclear
and
one day. At
flopped on
that
the
point, our
floor.
deterrence is
Oh, shit,
laughable. No,
okay.
it's not. No. I can. I actually disagree at that point. You guys have to understand that
hopefully he's
the
okay.
concept of nuclear weapons at the
thanks for
point
bringing
they're
him
at
back here.
now,
I'll
and
take
we
a peek
actually
at him.
reached
Hi
this point a
there.
while ago. We achieved mutually assured destruction and mutually assured
Hi sir, can you
destruction
hear me?
on second strike potential. Let's talk about it in a second. Yeah. Sorry, I just had a low blood sugar. You don't have any of these snacks.
I do have snacks, yeah. All right, well, do you see some bruises on your knees here and some cuts? I'm just cleaning those up for you, okay? Is that why you passed
Okay.
out? You didn't have food?
Yeah, I didn't have food. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Until a nuclear explosion happens in the U.S., people will defend its use. I want to be clear. I'm not defending its use. I need chat to I need you guys to be charitable with your interpretation of my words. I am not defending or advocating. I am saying it is a very
All right,
complicated
take one
and
more look, and
nuanced
then I'll sit you up
subject,
and get you
and
some
it
food,
changes
okay?
depending on the questions you ask. Please, don't pigeonhole me into
All right, just gonna take that side down off the bed here. If
I-
you want to lean on me, you're
this
more
is
than
some shit
welcome to.
I
If you need to lean
actually
back
know about
down,
and
you
studied.
can,
So.
cool.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up you go. There, nice. All right, come over here.
You don't have any snacks, do you? Oh my god, you're the best. Thank you so much. My favorite, chips.
Here you go, chips and water, right? Eat those, drink that, and go get some food, okay? We'll see you around.
Okay, so we'll discuss this a little bit. As long as chat is chill, we'll discuss this a little bit. Okay. So there is a line of thinking, and again, I'm not saying what is real, true, best, or other. I'm giving you guys lines of thinking. There is a line of thinking that as soon as you develop the capabilities of nuclear weapons, that the only rational choice is for other nation states to then have those nuclear weapons, and that deterrence is the only stable way forward. The idea of deterrence theory, for those wondering, is it's basically saying, well, if you nuke me, I nuke you, we both die. Therefore, the best option is for us not to nuke each other. I'm not trying to advocate. I'm not trying to debate chat. I'm trying to give you guys tools to think about the concept of nuclear weapons and how they change human dynamics, politics, society, etc. Okay, cool. I'm not trying to argue or debate anything. All right. So it's just trying to give you guys like tools to think about it so that you can come to your own conclusions. So some basic things that we've agreed upon as chat. Number 1, humans would develop nuclear weapons. I'm not talking about, the Manhattan Project, Los Alamos, Fermi, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Humans would have developed nuclear weapons. That's number 1. Number 2, and maybe a little bit more of a contentious reach, but my argument is humans would have used nuclear weapons in a non-testing capacity. At some point, we would have used them. Okay? With those two bases, we can now explore some other ideas. Okay? So the idea of deterrence and deterrence theory is basically saying, well, now that you have nuclear weapons from one country, the only way to actually assure some form of peace is that other countries then need nukes. It's also the Hasanabi doctrine. Are you a nation state? If you answered yes, the next question is, do you have nukes? If the answer is yes, cool, you're chilling. If the answer is no, no, sorry, the answer is yes, then we go to don't give up your nukes. If the answer is no, the next answer is go get nukes. Okay? So, and there's any number of different threads you can follow around deterrence theory, right? Well, one of the general principles is that you might actually create a more stable world order by having nuclear deterrence. The idea being that conventional wars will not escalate to a severe degree between nuclear states because of the risk of nuclear war. Okay. So those are just some concepts. Wait, Docra and Mazda says their mechanism to stop a nuclear state sidestepping nuclear deterrence and mad by losing a nuke. So then we get into a whole other realm of nuclear deterrence theory, right? So when we have non-state actors, so okay, what happens if now nuclear weapons are not only in the control of a rational state, but a non-state actor, right? A terrorist organization, etc. Or what if you have a state actor that is not rational? A lot of people have argued that, North Korea is not given a substantial nuclear arsenal, North Korea will not be a rational actor. So those are other questions that come into this debate. And again, I'm not trying to argue one way or the other. If anything, I'm just trying to arm chat with some terms and resources for you guys to understand the sort of intricacy that nuclear weapons discuss. And so then there's another whole thing, which is, again, let's assume humans want to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and there's a whole movement, actually a political movement, of trying to reduce nuclear armament to zero. And basically getting all the worlds to hold hands, all the world countries to hold hands and reduce their nuclear arsenals. Okay, first of all, did some of them do it? Kind of, but not really. Let's say you're the United States and you have enough nuclear warheads to blow up the entire world, like God knows how many times over. Guess what's really easy to do? It's like, yeah, sure, we'll fucking decommission half of our arsenal, no problem. Okay, well, you decommissioned half of your arsenal that you didn't actually fucking need because you can blow up the world multiple times over with it, so it doesn't fucking matter. And here's the problem with that. Trying to go to zero nuclear armaments requires absolutely insane control and cooperation. It means, yeah, it's a prisoner's dilemma game, but now you have multiple prisoners involved and not all of them are going to think alike and have the same values. So a lot of people, and now this is one area where I will give you guys I will now give you a stance that I have on nuclear weapons. I do believe, realistically, that the rational perspective is that, or not even the rational, the realistic perspective on human rationality is that we will not get rid of our nuclear weapons. It is absolutely insane to think that the nation states will lower their nuclear arsenals as opposed to continuing on with a system of nuclear deterrence and nuclear control as they have currently. So I also think, especially, and for people wondering how all of this nuclear deterrence theory and stuff relates to real world conflict, well, there is a country that gave up their nukes in the late 1980s, early 1990s, and that country was Ukraine. Ukraine used to be a nuclear power. I think it is a silly concept to think of the world where everyone holds hands and sings Kumbaya. So when people and this is why I want to arm chat with how to discuss nuclear weapons and nuclear deterrence. Yeah, it's a very sensitive topic, but it's a real topic. It is a topic that is the reality of the world that we live in. And we don't get to just handhold it away. As I said in those two concepts that we discussed, number one, humanity would develop nuclear weapons given our progress of technology, and then at some point we would use those weapons. And if we accept those premises, then we have to start asking questions of how do we live with nuclear weapons and organize ourselves given that. Anyways. When someone says, well, we're going to develop a weapon more powerful than nukes, it doesn't really matter. Like the idea of nuclear weaponry that people need to understand is we got to a point, and I mean very rapidly. I'm pretty sure we actually hit this point. Like people think that some modern, like giga modern thing. No, we literally hit this point in like the 50s where we can destroy the entire world with a nuclear arsenal. It doesn't matter what death ray other weapon you develop after that. Like we already have that weapon. So anyways. So now when we get into specific questions about like, you know, that's why when people say the United States use of nuclear weapons and how fucked up that was, I think that there are multiple ways to look at that question. I think there is like I said, there's the humanist in me and the person in me that can look at that and objectively be like, whether it was nuclear or not, it's a bombing of civilians, which is bad, right? But then we could just argue that war is bad because there's casualties in wars. And I can look at that situation and say it's really bad. But then it's just there's a lot of what ifs. If the United States had never deployed the bombs at Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and what people don't realize, this is the thing that people don't realize in terms of when they think about nuclear weapons. And actually I will diagram this. This is another thing that I need everyone in chat to agree on, just so you guys get a concept of scale. This is a conventional bomb. That's a conventional bomb. This is like what was it, Fat Man and Little Boy, and then like these are the bombs that we pretty rapidly developed. I think, when was the first hydrogen bomb drop? Like people need to understand that the fusion devices that are dropped or exploded are not the same as fission devices. Like, so there's this weird thing where like, and again, I'm not saying I agree with this argument, but you could like there is an argument that someone could make, which is like like not looking at the individual instance, but like if you were an alien species spectating humanity from a completely removed and apathetic lens, you could argue that humanity might have saved itself from this scenario by having this scenario occur first. People and the reason why this is that when people think nuclear weapons, a lot of people do not understand this distinction. And this is a very important distinction to have. Okay, when someone's like, okay, can you explain? My brain not processing that. A fission bomb takes a very large isotope like uranium. I don't know what the fucking symbol is. Is it UR? And it splits it. Okay, that's a fission bomb. A fusion bomb takes a fission bomb inside of the bomb to detonate a fission device, which then takes the smallest atoms, but heavy versions of the smallest atoms. So hydrogen. Fuck, what's hydrogen? Is it just H? Fuck, whatever. Specifically hydrogen that is deuterium or tritium. So heavy hydrogen, and then it fuses them together. This is the same nuclear reaction that occurs in our sun. Anyways, the reason why the difference is important is when people think of nuclear weapons and they're like, well, there were nuclear weapons that were used. Nuclear weapons, people fail to realize that the one time that humankind used nuclear, like, let me put it in a, this is again in the apathetic lens. The one time that humankind used nuclear weapons in a non-testing capacity, so in an aggressive, defensive, whatever capacity you want to say, the one time we did it this way, in basically the smallest way we could. And that's like a fucked up thing to say. And if it does sound fucked up, it should, because it's, again, it's that apathetic, removed perspective. So does it excuse the use of the weaponry? Absolutely not. But it's a way of, you know. M Phaser said, not humankind, just the USA. No, humankind. I'm saying that if you're an outside alien species observing human weapon usage and human political development, you would be like, oh, humanity has used nuclear because you said just USA. What I have to ask you, chat, is if someone else had developed the nuclear weapon first, would they have also used it? My argument is yes. I would argue yes, another country would have used it. Does that excuse the United States? Absolutely not. Doesn't excuse us. So another way of thinking about it is, now let's actually look at the state of nuclear weaponry today. This is a fission explosion. Nagasaki and Hiroshima. This is a fusion explosion. This is what we were able to develop very quickly in the 1950s. And now, today, we have a single ICBM. Sorry if it looks like a dick. A single ICBM that carries warheads. And every single one of these so what this does, it goes up into space, it deploys all the warheads, and then it looks like this. And even more. So, happy Easter, by the way, chat. So, this is why if someone in chat were to ask me the question, Blau, do you agree with the United States dropping or using nuclear weapons in World War II? I would say no. And also yes, depending on how I thought about the question. And so maybe a better answer is I don't know. The person in me that has empathy says absolutely not.